Let's get real with this one. Have you ever spent hours crafting Instagram posts, tweaking your website, or trying to get more engagement, only to feel like nothing is actually working? It seems like it's working for everyone else, but for some reason, you're not seeing the big ROI that you were promised or that you see others achieve. And I really feel you there. Marketing can make you feel like a deer in headlights or perhaps a waste of time or money, especially when you're not clear what's actually driving results. So how do you stop wasting time on marketing that's not working? In today's episode, I'm going to break down exactly how to track your marketing efforts, what to cut out, and how to focus on the strategies that actually move the needle for your pet business. Plus, stick around until the end as I'll be answering some common questions you may be wondering as we wrap up the topic. All right, let's get into the intro music and we'll get started.
Welcome, Petpreneur, to the Pet Marketing Unleashed podcast. I'm your host, Michaela Vargas, founder, designer, and educator behind Pet Marketing Unleashed. This podcast is all about growing your pet business without the stress. Here, you'll find episodes packed with actionable tips and advice for streamlining your online presence, avoiding burnout, and onboarding new clients while you're away from your desk or out with the dogs. So pop in those earbuds and learn stress-free marketing and website strategies with me while you head out on your next dog walk, pet sitting visit, drive to your next session, or just wherever your pet business takes you next. Let's dive in.
Marketing can straight up feel like a serious time suck. Like super honestly, I have been there more times than I can count, especially on social media and Instagram. And it seems like things are changing all the time and you just can't catch up. Like engagement's down and the algorithm's gone crazy. And now there's new grid dimensions and it's just like, it's a lot. And not all marketing is created equal. It's so easy to get caught up in trends, posting on social media daily, running random boosted posts, or stressing over hashtags, which are those even a thing anymore? Like, I don't think they really are, without knowing if it's actually helping. So the key to stopping this cycle of uncertainty is tracking, testing, and focusing on what works. So let's dive into how to do just that. Here are 3 strategies or things that you should be tracking to know if your marketing is working. Number 1, where clients are coming from. 2, Google Analytics and website data. And 3, social media insights. So let's go through each of these. Number 1, where clients are coming from. If you are not already asking clients how they found you, start doing that now. You could add a "how did you hear about us" question to your contact form or to your booking process, or you can even ask them, like if you hop on calls or go to meet and greet, ask them where they found you and start tracking that data so you know where your clients are actually coming from, so you know where you can focus more of your efforts. And don't just take their answers at face value. You need to cross-check this with data. If they say Google, can you confirm in your analytics that you're getting traffic from search engines? Like, is that something that's like, is that just the one client, or is that something that's being repeated? And now let's go do some investigative work to see in your analytics, are they coming from Google, right? So speaking of that, number 2, Google Analytics and website data. If you don't already have a Google Analytics account, definitely recommend creating one. Sometimes your website platform will have this for you as well. Like Wix has this, so you can actually see some of your data being pulled in. So you can just, once you're making website edits, you can also check your website data as well and check your analytics. Regardless, you want to make sure that you are tracking your website analytics. And some of the things that you want to look for are the traffic sources. So this is where your website traffic is actually coming from. So you can see, are people coming from Google? Are they coming from referrals? Are they coming from social media? Like, where is your traffic coming from? Because you want to do more of that if that's also where your clients are coming from. It's also worth it to check out your bounce rates and your conversions. So the bounce rate is like essentially the percentage rate of how quickly somebody just like leaves on that page. So if your homepage has like a 70% bounce rate, that means 70% of people are just leaving your site without going to another page on your website. That's not good, right? Now, obviously on like a contact page, you're going to see a higher bounce rate, which is totally fine because that means that maybe they reached out to you and now they're all done so they can exit out. So that's something to look at. And then you just want to make sure about like conversions too. So if you are getting visitors from Google, but you're not getting inquiries from Google, it's not a traffic problem, it's a website problem. Like you're not converting once they land on your website, right? And that's kind of where we say, I've said this in previous episodes, and I've seen this before on like blog posts and stuff. It's not like your website's designer's job necessarily to grow the business. You want to find the source or the root of the problem, right? We can create a beautiful website, but if the copy is lacking, you don't have great copywriting that's not converting, or, something like that. If you want to see like where it's coming from. So there's a traffic, like typically there's either a traffic problem or it's a conversion problem. Once you're getting the traffic, if you're getting the traffic, then you need to make sure that people are converting once they land on your website, right? So that's where you can look at data to piece together where the problem is, figuring out what's working, what's getting new clients, and what's not working. You also want to monitor page performance. Are people actually clicking on your services page? Are they spending time on your site, or are they leaving right away? So you can typically go and see like exactly how people are using your website, which like maps are they following, which pages are they going to, which ones are they leaving from. You want to do that analysis to make sure that once people are even, say you focus all of your time on Instagram, you're getting a lot of traffic to your website, but you're like, it's not helping me grow my business. Well, is this a conversion problem, or are your ideal clients not actually on Instagram, right? It's actually kind of like a detective work. Like you really have to get finite with like, where are these people coming from? What are they doing? And where's the cutoff? Where's the cliff? Where are they dropping? And lastly, you want to look at social media insights. Engagement is great, but are people actually clicking through to your website? Are your posts attracting your ideal clients, or just random pet lovers who are never going to book your services, right? Now, there's something to be said about social media too, that I don't know if this is controversial or not. So if you don't agree with me, I'm sorry, but this is just my opinion, that social media isn't necessarily a business builder for local pet service businesses. I think it's better for engagement and community, and to show that you're active and present and you have, a reputation, you're there, you exist. And again, like fostering that community with either your clients or even, help people want to be a part of it. But it's not necessarily going to be the thing that's getting new clients if people aren't necessarily reaching out via Instagram to book a service. Maybe they are. And when I say this, I'm not saying that you're never getting business from it. I'm just saying you might find that you're getting more business elsewhere via search on like Yelp or Google or photos or events, things like that. So just something to keep in mind when it comes to the purpose of social media. Just because you aren't getting clients from social media doesn't mean you shouldn't be doing it. Just something to know. So those are the 3 strategies or things that I would recommend that you start tracking if you are not already, to know what's working with your marketing and what's not. Now, before we get into cutting out marketing tasks that don't work, let's talk about one of the biggest mistakes that I see. Because here's the thing, you can tweak and track your marketing all you want, but if your website isn't set up to convert, you're still going to struggle to see results. We talked about that a little bit ago, but I really want to get into the website stuff as well, because how can I go through an episode without talking about websites, right? We're website designers. Your website is your home base. Social media is great, but if you're driving people to a messy, confusing website, you are losing potential clients, and all of that time and money that you put into the social media, whether you're hiring somebody to help you or you're spending lots of time on it, is wasted because they're getting to a website that they're not going to convert at, and then you lost them. Your branding needs to be clear and consistent. If your branding is all over the place, people will not recognize you, or worse, they just won't trust you. So if your social media is like rainbow colors all over the place, and then they land on your website and it's just like a green nature-y type website, they're like, well, is this the same business? And what is this? It creates a disconnect. We want to make sure that everything is consistent. This falls in line with the visuals. So like the colors, the fonts, the verbiage. So like how you're actually speaking, what language you use, all of it needs to be very clear and consistent in order for people to be able to go from elsewhere, like off your website, onto your website, and then to book, and to actually reach out to you. Your website also should make it easy for clients to take action. If people have to dig to find your pricing or your services or your contact information, they're just going to move on, right? We're in like an instantaneous, we want results society. We need it to be super easy for clients to move through the process, because if it's confusing, if they have to use extra brain power, they're just going to leave your website. So if traffic is not your issue, you know that you're getting people to the website or you're getting people engaged on social media, but then you're not really getting the inquiries, it's probably time to fix your website before investing more in marketing. Okay. Next, let's get into what you should cut from your marketing if something's not working. If you are short on time, you want to focus on what actually is converting for your business. Now, this sounds obvious, but it's something that most of us are still doing, myself included. Like, it's a good idea to remove or at least reduce from your plate what's not working. And that's what we're doing now. So, full transparency, we're moving ourselves not removing ourselves. We're just not going to be posting in the future on Pinterest. It's not something it's generating traffic to our website. We get tons of clicks to our portfolio pages because people are clicking on like elements of our branding projects and things like that. They like to look at that, but then we're not necessarily getting leads from the platform. So we've decided let's focus more and double down more time on what's actually working for our business. So that's kind of a good example of how that plays out where, like you look at the platform separately, right? We want to look at everything holistically. If you just were to look at Pinterest and be like, oh, this is great. And you have tons of engagement. We have tons of people landing on our website. This is awesome. Keep doing it, right? But then when you look at where all of our purchase is coming from, where all of our service and our clients coming from, it's not Pinterest. So I'm not going to do it anymore. We're releasing it. We're going to focus on what works. So here's what to stop wasting time on for you. We don't want to blindly post on social media without tracking conversions. We don't want to spend hours on trendy content that doesn't attract ideal clients. And we don't want to waste time on SEO or ads before your website is actually built to convert. A lot of people also pay for like Google keywords or AdWords, but their website isn't built to convert and it's just a waste of money. So you want to make sure that your website is built to convert first. And you want to double down on what is working currently for your business until you have the capacity to expand that and to grow into other avenues. So whatever's working, whether that's email marketing, referrals, SEO, word of mouth, or something else that's bringing in actual inquiries to your business now. And I do want to acknowledge that this can feel super scary. Like you've been told to post that you have to post every day on social media or engage, post stories or whatever it is that you're doing. There's always a marketing person out there that says you need to like be doing all the things, right? There's always someone that says you have to do this as part of your business. I call bull, and it's just, but it can feel very scary. And the same for me, right? So like to just stop, it feels really scary, but you have to remember that every single business is different. Different things work for different business owners, different business structures, different markets, different things that bring you joy, you name it. So I highly recommend looking at the data for what works in your business. You can let go of what does not serve you and your business best. You have enough going on to spend so much time doing something that's not generating a return. You are so busy already. Just focus on what is already working. Okay. Before we wrap up, let's get into some Q&A that you may be wondering based on everything that we've gone over in this episode. Number 1, how long should you test something before making a decision? This is something that can also be very individual, like it depends on the platform and all of that kind of stuff. But I know that people like to have estimates and ideas for something like this. And don't hold so tight on what I say. I just want to give you somewhat of a reference point. I would give most things at least 60 to 90 days, depending. If you go much past 90 days without any sort of uptick or difference or momentum or anything, you may want to reevaluate at that point. Now, some strategies are more long-term, like SEO and things like that. So keep that in mind. But best practice overall is to evaluate by 90 days and see what you think there. And at least look at the data and see, is there anything kind of churning or changing at this point? All right, another question. What are the signs it's working versus not working? How do I even know what's working and not working? We talked a little bit about the inquiries and seeing where people are coming from, but let's look at some other like examples of metrics and things to look at. So for signs that it is working is that you're getting consistent inquiries or bookings from your ideal clients. And the focus of that is like your ideal clients, because you may be posting on a certain platform that actually is not your ideal clients, even though it's getting you those people reaching out, right? There can be a difference between two avenues that get you inquiries. One of them are great clients and one of them results in not so great clients, right? So you want to pay attention to that. And that's how you know that something was working properly. But another sign that it's working is that people are mentioning your content or your brand in conversations. So people are saying things like, I saw your post about X, Y, and Z. It really resonated with me. That's a sign that it's working, because if that's an ideal client, they actually specifically reference something that you've done. Now you know that that's working and you want to do more of that. Another sign is that your engagement rates are high and people are actively commenting, sharing, or saving your content. Another sign could be that your website conversion rate is improving, meaning that more visitors are filling out your contact form or booking services with you, or that your marketing efforts are leading to referrals because happy clients are now sending others your way. Here are some signs that it might not be working, or perhaps there needs to be some adjusting. Is that you're getting views, but no engagement. So your content might need stronger messaging, better visuals, or clear call to actions. Or here's another sign, is that your website has traffic, but no inquiries. Your website may be confusing or lacking trust signals, or maybe not clearly communicating that what your services are. See if you can see where they drop off in the Google Analytics and see what page that they're leaving from. Another tool that we talked about, I believe it was on the podcast with Tori Nestick about email marketing, is called, it's a free tool. They have a paid version too. It's called Hotjar, and you can actually see how people are using your website and where they're actually dropping off. But like, you can physically see like the mouse moving, and you can see like more red in the areas of like where people typically like stop or which buttons they typically click, things like that. It's really helpful. Another sign of something that may not be working or need adjusting is people are engaging with your social media, but it's not translating to website clicks. You might be attracting the wrong audience, or your content isn't guiding them toward booking. So just something to look at. Again, we kind of talked about how social media can be more of like a community platform versus a service generator, but still something, again, to take a look at in terms of how much am I spending on this and what return am I getting on that investment. And then another sign it's not working is that people are asking you these same questions repeatedly, which means your marketing might not be answering their key concerns up front, or your website is not addressing the FAQs, or they don't even know how to access it. So a lot of things to think about when it comes to things that might not be working or needing adjustment. Now, keep in mind with all of these things I just went through, again, your business is individual. You might have different goals. You might, there's just so many different things to keep in mind. So when it comes to this specific platform, it might not be as relevant. So just keep that in mind. I just want to get the conversation going towards how should your brain be thinking about what's working and what's not working in your business. All right. Another question. What should I do if I'm getting website traffic but no inquiries? First, you want to check your website. Is it clear, professional, and easy to navigate? Does the brand feel cohesive between where they originated from versus your website? Does your site load fast? Do you speak to your ideal clients? There are a lot of things to look at on your website to make sure that it's not affecting those inquiries, because ultimately you're getting the traffic and not the conversions. Either your website's lacking or you're not on the right platform. You also want to look at your services pages. Do they provide enough detail and include an easy way to book and contact you? Do you have easy to read call to actions with strong verbs like get started? You can customize like walk my pup. Like you can get very specific with what action you want them to take so they know exactly what the next step is going to be when they click that button. You also want to add trust factors to your website if you don't have them already. So that means testimonials organically scattered throughout your website versus like a separate reviews page that people don't click on. So organic case studies, organic testimonials, or guarantees can really make a big impact. And final question, how do I know if I should change my marketing strategy or just tweak it? So here are a couple of things to think about. If you are getting some traction but not the right results, start by tweaking things before scrapping the strategy completely. So if you're noticing that like, okay, things are kind of moving based on what I'm doing, but it's not necessarily getting me the results I want, can we make small tweaks before just like scrapping it completely, right? If you're not getting traction at all, it may be time to shift your focus to a different platform, audience, or messaging strategy. If a strategy worked before but suddenly isn't, you want to look at external factors. Is there like a seasonality, something going on, algorithm changes or shifts in client behavior? You want to look at what's going on that could have like externally. So it's not like a marketing strategy that's faulty, but like, is the tech still working? Is there something going on in like the community that is impacted by, an example, this would be like COVID, where all of a sudden now things are shifting and it's not necessarily your marketing that's the issue per se. You just want to look at what's going on. Is there something that you can adapt to and adjust to based on something external so that you can pivot? When looking at marketing data, a lot of it, when done properly, can feel like detective work. You want to take the time to figure out what's working, what's not working, what can be tweaked, and you'll find yourself seeing more results in less time, which is really the goal. You want to release what doesn't work and double down on what does. All right, we have covered a lot in this episode and a lot of like very specific information, but if you are wanting some support on the next step to take, if you are struggling with pushing people to a website that you really don't feel so confident in, or one you don't know is working and converting for you, I highly recommend checking out our free Seamless Onboarding Masterclass. It walks you through crucial mistakes and steps to take to get your website working for you while, as I like to say, you are away from your desk or out with the dogs. Because all the marketing in the world won't help if your website isn't built to attract and convert. And we can help you with that, whether it's through that free masterclass, one of our website templates, or a custom brand and website design. You can find out more about all of these in the show notes of the episode, including the masterclass. But that is all that I have for you today. Thank you so much for listening all the way through. You are truly awesome, and I will catch you in the next episode.
Thanks for listening all the way to the end. I appreciate you being here, and if you enjoyed this episode, which I think you did because you're still here with me, then I want to invite you to check out our website templates over at petmarketingunleashed.com/shop. As a podcast listener, I know you're serious about taking your pet business to the next level, and your website is a crucial piece to making that happen. After all, your website is more than a digital business card. It's your virtual assistant, your marketing person, your booking manager, and it should be working for you around the clock, bringing in clients, saving you time, and growing your business. Our Pet Marketing Unleashed website templates are not just pretty. They're also strategically designed for your type of business, built with search rankings in mind, and are truly easy to customize so you can launch a successful website and streamline your operations. You'll also get access to our signature course that shows you how to write website copy like a pro, do foundational SEO, and set up your tech. So with a few clicks to customize, you have absolutely everything you need for a website that stands out from the pack. And as a thank you for being a loyal podcast listener, you can use the code PMUPodcast at checkout to get 10% off your website template. Again, that's PMUPodcast for 10% off your template. If you're ready to elevate your website and make it work as hard as you do, head over to petmarketingunleashed.com/shop and explore all our templates. Also, if you loved this episode, sharing it with a fellow preppreneur or leaving a review and rating is a great way to support this podcast and keep it running. Thanks again for tuning in. I'll be back soon with a new episode.